Here we go on volcano parts and the risks of volcanoes. Okay, to start off with, we're going to start with a story. So, this is Pompeii. Now, this is Mount Vesuvius in the background, and Mount Vesuvius, for a long time, was dormant, not erupting. And so people were living here, and they had a good life, everything else. Well, okay, one day, Mount Vesuvius erupted, though, and the people in this town didn't really have a chance. Maybe if they had a car or a bus or whatever, they could have gotten in and driven really fast. They could have gotten out of the way. But being this was 1,000+ years ago, they didn't have a chance. So the city was buried in ash. So ash buried it. The pyroclastic flow came and buried these people, and the city was forgotten about until after a long, long time. All of a sudden, somebody discovers, hey, there's a wall somewhere. And they keep digging. Here's another wall. Oh, there's a building. And as they keep looking, they realize, hey, there's a whole town here. And so they start excavating the town of Pompeii. Well, they kept finding these weird holes in the ash as they were digging. And they decided, we got to figure out what these weird holes are. And so they found a weird hole in the ash. They filled it full of plaster. And then they dug the plaster out. And what they saw were the remains of people. Okay, all the people that had died in that town were preserved as basically holes in the ash that killed them. And so by filling it with plaster, you could keep a record of all those people. This is a dog that they found kind of chained up in the backyard. You could see the collar around its neck, probably a piece of leather with some brass pegs or something attached to a rope. A lot of people were covering their mouths as they were, enveloped. But it was probably pitch dark. They couldn't breathe, and they all died like this. Now, I'm not sure how they died, but it was likely because of the gases they were breathing in, along with the ash that eventually buried them. So Pompeii is kind of a sad story overall, and I mean, a lot of people died here. So volcanoes can be dangerous. Volcanoes can be kind of a big deal. Okay, so we're going to get into the parts of volcano and the dangers of volcano, and we're going to keep this in mind that this is kind of serious. Now, if we look at the side of your notes, okay, we're going to see a few things going on here. Now, the volcano is erupting. That pressurized rock is going to try to get out the easiest possible way it can. And as a volcano gets bigger and bigger, it might be too hard to get out straight out the top. It might be easier for some lava to come out the side. And so we have offshoot vents and secondary mouths form then. What we see here, this is debris. Actual hunks of rock get blown up by volcanoes. We saw yesterday entire mountaintops basically can be destroyed. Looking up towards the top, this is an ash cloud. So as a volcano erupts, it's sending all this ash into the air. That ash, just like a cloud, can charge up electricity and make lightning. And so there's lots of cases where people have taken time-lapse photos and captured a lot of this lightning. Looks pretty cool. Okay. You can tell over here, this picture was taken at night, and this picture must have been taken over maybe a course of an hour. So this is 1 hour's worth of photograph of lightning and brightness. But it's pretty cool. So ash clouds have their own thing going on. Okay. Now, the next term going on the side here, this is a pyroclastic flow. Okay. This is probably what helped kill the people in Pompeii, is the gases and all this stuff coming down as a pyroclastic flow. We're going to get a definition of this at the bottom of the page. Okay, here we go with some pyroclastic flow. This is taken from far away. You can see how fast this is moving, though. This is really hot gas, rocks, all sorts of other stuff flying down a hill. Okay. If you saw this coming towards you, you would want to get out of the way, for sure. Okay. Here's a different view. We'll watch it one more time. Okay. The fastest pyroclastic flows can be really fast, hundreds of miles per hour. Here's the last one we'll see. I mean, these people know this is serious. We got to get out of here right now. So pyroclastic flows, everybody. Okay, up next, this very top thing. This is the mouth of a volcano, and that's the main vent. Okay, to take a look at some mouths of volcanoes, there's a pretty cool video on these guys who decide to descend into a volcano and try to get as close as they can to the mouth. So right now they're really far away. They're trying to get closer and closer. And as they go down, they have to wear protective gear because of all the radiation that's coming out of here would just cook them too fast. So this is the mouth of a volcano. Sometimes the mouths of volcanoes are kind of empty looking, like this. Other times you're not going to be able to get very close to them. Okay, depending on the type of volcano, this might be the mouth right here. So they can all look different depending on what the volcano is doing at the time. Okay, last thing are lava flows going down the side. Okay, lava flows we've seen enough of, but I mean, if this is coming towards you, you definitely want to get out of the way. Okay. Oh, this is actually the last one. Down here at the bottom, the thing that charges up as these volcanoes are getting ready to erupt, and you can feel earthquakes as these fill up. This is called a magma chamber down at the bottom. And these magma chambers, I mean, it really decides how much power that earthquake ends up having. So those are the parts of the earth of the volcano. Moving on, okay, what are the dangers associated with volcanoes? First, there's lava flows. Obviously, if you have a lava flow coming, it's a problem. Okay, this one feels pretty obvious. Lava pours down the sides of a volcano. There are poisonous gases involved in volcanoes erupting. For example, all of these, and here are the names of them: carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, nitrogen dioxide, methane, and carbon monoxide. Okay. There's ash. Now, we saw with Pompeii that ash can pile up and pack and turn into rock. Anyway, it can pile up many meters thick. In some cases, even thicker than many meters. Tens or hundreds of meters thick in large eruptions. Some eruptions will put ash all around the world. Every inch of the earth will have ash on it after a major eruption. Lastly, those pyroclastic flows we were looking at before, which is hot gas and rocks that are flowing down the mountain. These mountains are steep enough, and this is rocks, so it's not really like a lava flow, it's more like an avalanche of burning hot gas and lava rock. Okay, so that's the dangers, that's the parts of a volcano. Make sure you ask any questions that you have, look up anything you need to look up. There's lots of great menu ideas, projects in here, so give it some thought.